You know, Christina, one thing
Yeah.
about the producer, the question is how dark skin is
Oh
Roberta?
gosh, now you have to do
And
it.
I said, I don't have to answer that. But
Exactly.
of course, she's dark skin, yeah. But how dark skin, I can't
Yeah,
say
how
that.
dark, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, how dark. Yeah.
Do you know, Paulo, if when the movie that's being developed, if structurally it's going to be able to work like the book? Because I think the thing that you do in the novel of leading us towards an understanding of the beginning of the story, which is why everything ended up as it did,
Yeah.
and also ending, ending without an ending. All of those things that you can do very cleverly, in a narrative way in a novel. I don't know whether you can do that in sort of linear storytelling. I mean, I think that it's that the language is so different, and I wonder whether it's going to be possible to operate in these quite different, using these quite different media to tell the story in these sort of two. When you're in film, everything is in the present tense, right?
Yeah, it's a very different language, yeah, Daniel. And I know that the producer has already the script, so I didn't read it. I'm curious about that, of course. And the Habitante Irreal was sold to a movie producer, and they lose a contract time, and the rights came back to me, but they won this money, this government money to write the script, and they send me the script, and I start to read the script, and I stop, Daniel, because it's a so different thing. Such a different thing.
Yeah. I wonder whether one of the issues will be in this one is finding a different balance between the two stories, because we talked about this in terms of the present and the flashback, but actually the past of this book, the more distant 1980s past, is not just a few scenes, a few paragraphs, a few memories. It's very immersive, and it happens for pages, and you have a lot of detail and a lot of experience. So it doesn't feel like there is one main time frame and just occasionally a little glimpse of something else. It feels like there are two really substantial ones. And I wonder whether one of the things that has to happen is you kind of have to decide, this is going to be the story. And we get little pictures, little glimpses of some other time, but you can't actually sustain two main narratives with a kind of comparable weight. It's very difficult, I think.
And Daniel, there is this commission chapter that is a third world inside the novel, and I did the presentation of this the translation to the Portuguese of this important book, American important book, called titled the autobiography of ex-colored man, from James Johnson. And I read this book for the first time 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there is this commission, some part like this commission chapter inside this book that is wagon in a train where you could smoke, yeah, and this black man that is lighter skin, he was with other white man talking about racism and many different views inside this conversation. And I'd like to ask you, Daniel, translation this um, uh, translate translating this. Did you feel this part as a third moment inside this story?
Yes, up to a point, but I think it's significant that it's how the story begins. So I think the fact that you begin with Federico walking into the commission means that you know that it's not something marginal. You know that it's not just a little bit extra in one of the other stories, because that's how we meet him. We meet him in these first couple of pages of someone literally opens the door and walks into the room where the commission is meeting. This happened in the first sentence of the book, actually. And so in fact, even though you don't spend very much time in the commission, there's the opening in one long scene. A lot of what you see is in reference to that. A lot of Federico's memories of being a boy and a young man and suffering racial abuse, they happen in the very first scene in relation to this commission. So it feels like part of the background for quite a lot of it. It's not just an isolated scene that happened on page 67 or whatever. It's where we meet the story, and that has a very different effect, I think, for a reader.